When it was Theo's funeral, when I arrived at the chapel, there were 3 sunflowers on his coffin. I didn't know how they got there or who would put them there. And they just stuck in my head. They became this sort of light in the dark. I see a sunflower, I say, I love you, Theo. I call myself the misery fairy because I genuinely believe that there's something not quite right about me. There's just something a little bit strange. Social services said to me, oh, you don't fit in family units. So we found you this supported accommodation where you can live on your own. And then I got made homeless from this supported accommodation. And then I fell pregnant. Had my son, everything was fine. And the morning after, the evening I took him home, I woke up and he was dead. Just dead in his Moses basket. I think that was the single worst thing that ever happened to me. And suddenly my entire world ended. Just like that. So yeah, things were really, really miserable and really, really sad for a very, very, very long time. And I don't really know what happened, but one day I was like, I've got loads to say. And I've got nothing to do but talk. So I started talking to my phone. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get a massive audience. That was my only goal. I'm gonna get a huge audience. And what's nuts is that, like I say, I set out making content to get big audience so that people would hear me. But I did it. And that was nuts. Wasn't many things up until that point in my life that I could say, I want to do this, and then I'd done the work and did it. And then through that, I made very creative friends. One day I made a joke to my mate. I said, you know what? If I was a drag king, my drag name would be Dyke Skinner. And I started adding to this character that I sort of pulled out of thin air until I could see it in my head. What if I did something with it? And I had a mate as well. She hosted quizzes every now and again, and they were always themed. She offered me to host one of those quizzes. I did. The next time she offered me to host one of those quizzes, I said, yeah. Can I do it as Dyke Skinner? I bought a beard off Amazon. Put the beard on, I thought, there he is. There's the man I've been looking at in my head.
Hello, I am Dyke Skinner, Mr. Master of Ceremonies, Dyke Skinner, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, and I am from the ethers. I'm sort of all of the hideous geezer bird traits that exist within G, but if you bottled them up, stuck a beard on him and an aerodynamic suit.
And the rest is history. People seem to love him. And so he kept being asked to do things, and he kept showing up. That's what he does.
I believe that she sees me as a very trusted confidant in many ways, which I think people would find very odd when you consider the fact that I don't exist.
But yeah, it's interesting because as I curate an event, it very quickly becomes clear to me whether or not it's my event or whether Dyke needs to be the face of that event. June's show, I knew I wanted it to be called Storyteller, and I knew I wanted it to be about the ways that we use art to tell stories that are too sharp to swallow but too big to speak about. And then I was looking at the dates and I realised that it fell on my son's birthday. And at first I was like, and then I was like, well, hang on a minute, that's quite lovely, because that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about. It was different for Storyteller, to be honest, because it was how can I keep it on theme, mention that I'm here today whilst grieving, without making it sound like I've said, come to the music workshop and watch me grieve, right? And I just thought, well, that maybe there isn't a way to express that except by saying it. And that's why I said at the show, I'm not here to make you watch me grieve. I'm not here to make you uncomfortable with my grief. I'm just here to share a celebration of my son's life with you.
There is a part of me that believes that someone somewhere needs what she's doing. And so it's important that she keeps doing it, no matter how scared it makes her, no matter how much sometimes she might think, nobody cares, because I know she does that. She does that an awful lot. And I'm a cocky cunt, so I tell her, yes, they do. And even if they don't, who cares? Make them care.